Hey, you totally obsessed tennis player. Today I have an awesome tutorial for you because I'm going to show you how to hit one of the game's best shots in the history of tennis, and that is the Carlos Alcaraz drop shot. I'm going to do a step-by-step tutorial today on how to do it. We'll analyze it for you. Before I show you how Carlos Alcaraz hits this shot and we hit the court, what I want you to do is etch this into your brain. Take a look at this angle. He's got the continental grip. The racket is very quiet and still. Look at the focus in his eyes. A lot of people on their volleys and drop shots, they get way too handsy with it. They think they're adding the touch, but it's actually what's ruining the shot. So this is an absolutely gorgeous, beautiful shot that you can learn how to hit, and I'm going to teach it to you right now. So let's get right into this video. Okay, so the first amazing element of the Carlos Alcaraz drop shot is disguise. People can't see it coming, and it's way more effective when you have a 90. This guy's even hitting 105, 110 forehand. So you don't know if that's coming or the drop shot. This move, actually, I want to pay some homage and credit to Ivan Lendl. He was the first one who I saw really perfect this, to where you set up, you're prepared to hit a topspin forehand, you're showing topspin forehand, then you change the grip. So Carlos Alcaraz has just changed his grip, and now he's coming and it's changed and turned into a slice or a chip instead of a rip. So he was looking like he was going to rip, now he goes in the chip. Look how the racket head, the tip is up. There's a slight little comfortable bend in the elbow, not a lot of bend in the elbow. He's going to be making this shot with his touch in his hip and his shoulder. That's the secret. The hand's not going to move much. Another thing that Agassi pointed out is that the drop shot, Carlos likes to take it up about chest level. Okay, then he's going to have more control and it's easier to execute. If you got to hit the ball somewhere down low, when you're hitting the ball somewhere down around here, it's going to become way more difficult, all right? And plus, you're looking like you're showing offense, and then all of a sudden, you're still on offense, but it's touch offense instead of power offense. So you can see his racket coming from high to low. He's going to make contact about chest level. But you can see from even here, another thing that you want to do, and we'll show you how to do when we hit the court, is you want the strings and the ball connected as soon as possible, so that it's hard to miss the shot. What I find is that a lot of recreational players, club players, when they're getting set up to hit a drop shot or a volley, their strings could be anywhere. Sometimes without even recognizing, I call this racket head awareness, their strings sometimes are facing into them. Their strings are facing out there, or they're too open. They don't know. He has it perfectly set up that by the time he comes and touches the ball, the angle is created. He doesn't have to add a ton of spin. He's just controlling the touch with his shoulder and his hip, okay? There's not a lot of hand in there. It's a soft, subtle move when he wants to go soft and drop shot. Another thing, too, is you can either do three things when you're chipping a ball, right? You can win the collision, you can meet the collision, and you can lose the collision. Winning the collision means you're hitting power. So that would mean that you'd maybe want to start hitting the ball about here, and then, so let me put that there again, hit the ball about here, and then really push through that ball, right? So you could then carry it through forcefully through the court. Can you imagine that if he were to make contact further back, and if you look at his elbow, it would have more room to extend? But what you want to do is you want to hit your drop shots pretty much at the end of your runway, to where the elbow is almost fully extended out forward, and therefore the ball's not going to go very far, right? So when you want to hit more touch, you want to hit it further down the runway. You see what I'm saying? Now his elbow is just slightly bent, and then he hits it, and then after he hits, the extension is pretty much there already, okay? So he's fully extended out. And then he just pulls away ever so slightly. So he's going to add that spin, so then the ball is going to be going over here in the corner. He basically hits that over the net on the ad side. And look how the racket, though, watch how little the racket moves. Watch how little, see, a big thing that people do when they hit a drop that shot that's not so great and they end up getting frustrated is that there's lots of movement and breaking of the wrist. Look how Carlos right here, there's zero breaking of the wrist, okay? His wrist is not moving very much. It's a very subtle movement. And the strings are facing, right? They finish exactly where that ball's going to go. The ball's going to go out here. His strings finish locked right on that target. Let's take a look at another one, and then we'll hit the court. So again, side view, we're going to see the same thing. He's set up like he's going to crush this forehand. Now he just does that little subtle grip change, and now he's going to come basically like a volley. He's going to chip this ball from high to low, but he's making this move. Take a look at his shoulder. He's really engaging here with his shoulder and nice little touch in the hip. These are basically the controllers. The hand's job is to not mess it up. Don't get too handsy. Be very subtle with your hand movement. See that? And watch how quiet and subtle this move is. You're also leading to the ball with the bottom edge, not the top edge. The top edge is topspin. The bottom edge is underspin, and it's built into the technique, so you don't need to do much with it. Watch him hit the ball, and then he goes down a little bit, but when you're watching at regular speed, it doesn't look as dramatic as this. In fact, what I like to think about when I'm watching Carlos Alcaraz right here is he will hold his finish. I like to think of it like you're curling. You ever watch the Olympic curlers, how they roll the stone forward and they just hold their finish? Watch how he does that here. Okay, kind of reminds me of a curler. He's going to hold that finish for a long time. So, the idea of like jumping up and down for touch and things like that and using a lot of body English, Carlos Alcaraz has a little bit of that in there sometimes, but a lot of times he really holds his body quiet. And the more, I noticed yesterday when he was playing the French Open, he was more and more quiet on his finish, less and less jumpy, okay? So think more like this if you want to be very good at this, rather than John McEnroe used to like jump like 6 feet in the air when he hit a drop shot. All right, let's go to the court. And let's work on this because you're definitely going to love doing this on the singles or doubles court. All right, so here we are at the court. I'm going to show you how to hit this beautiful Carlos Alcaraz drop shot so you can go use it. Before we get into the tutorial on how to do this, the drills that you want to be doing, I want to invite you to a 5-day Play Beautiful Tennis Challenge where we're going to have you playing beautifully with every single shot in the game. So not only are you going to be able to have an amazing drop shot, you're going to have picture-perfect volleys, you're going to have an incredible looking topspin forehand and backhand, and a perfect serve. It's free to sign up. Make sure to go into the description box below this video. All right, let me show you how you're going to start hitting this awesome drop shot. Okay, so step one is Carlos Alcaraz. He shows this disguise, and then he's in a topspin forehand grip, most like a semi-Western grip most you would be in, and then he changes the grip and he hits that shot. You don't need to worry about step one. Don't worry about having to go from here to here. Remember, Carlos Alcaraz is playing against high-performance sports vehicles. They can run like crazy. They're literally burning rubber on hard court sometimes when you watch them play. You don't need to worry about that. This video is basically for adult club players, 3.0 to 4.0 level. If you hit a good drop shot, it's going to be plenty good enough to win so many points. If we have a good technique on this and we get the ball short enough, you're going to win a ton of points. You don't need to work on that move. What you need to work on, the first move you need to work on is basically getting super comfortable with your continental grip. So you just want to hold the racket like this and grab it, shake hands with it, make sure you spread the fingers out nice, and you should be able to basically chop forward, hammer and nail into the camera like I am, okay? And when you do that, you're going to be leading to the ball with the bottom edge. This is super key. Remember how we showed you this to begin the video, that picture of Carlos Alcaraz? We want to be able to create this look. And to be able to do that, first move, you want to be relaxed in the hand so that you can show that first move just like Carlos Alcaraz did. Get really good doing that. to do that, you want to make sure that your hand is nice and loose and that it can move, that the wrist can move like this to basically get ready to catch a ball. It's the same idea right there. If you're too tight in your hand, what you're going to be forced to do is make your move with your shoulder too much. And a lot of coaches talk about making a shoulder move for your first move on a volley, because this is basically what we're learning how to do is a nice touch volley here, is if I go like that and my hand's very tight, look how far the rack goes back. But if I am very relaxed in my hand, I can be right there, still stay out in front, and I can have more touch. Remember, we want to hit this ball further out in our runway. So the first thing you want to be able to do is hit really good volleys. I'm going to show you how to hit a win the collision volley, right? And then a lose the collision volley, which will be more of our drop shot volley. So you'll learn that touch. All right, guys, so we're going to show you this at all angles. First thing I'm doing there is winning the collision. Remember, I want a little more runway so I can stick the volley, right? So I'm winning that collision. I'm going out, I'm meeting it, and I'm pushing through the ball forcefully. Now, if I lose the collision, this is more of the drop shot. See the difference? I'm finding the ball more, but I'm losing the collision. I'm letting my racket give way a little bit here, and I'm out here. I don't have to do much. Just nice and slow, just like Carlos Alcaraz holding that. Finish, and that helps add that touch. Win the collision, lose the collision. Let's take a look at a couple different camera angles so you can see it happen. Okay, guys, so the first thing I want you to do is be at the net, practice your volley, and practice a combination of losing the collision. See, there's your drop shot. I'm finding the ball right away. Is very quiet, giving way to the tennis ball a little bit. All right, well, that's a really good drop shot right there, right? Right there, over and over again. These are plenty good enough to win on any court, 3-0 to 4-0, even at a 5-0 match. Now, winning the collision, see how I go through that? Losing the collision. So practice those two different extreme feels. Winning the collision, losing the collision. And get really good at this in the air. Oh, too much hands. See, hands more quiet, better shot. So once you feel like you've got it in the air, you can practice it on the bounce. And the more you don't move your racket, see that racket's nice and quiet, you can hit that great drop shot. The barely moving there, and you want to hold it like you're a curler, right? Remember how I told you that curling finish right there? Oh, that's a good one. So notice the racket's not moving much. Ball's getting that nice little air over the net. Perfect. And I'm being very quiet in my finish. I'm not jumping and moving my wrist. You're going to lose a lot of touch like that. You want to be quiet in the hands when you hit this shot. Let's go. Okay, so your next important step is to sign up for the 5-day Play Beautiful Tennis Challenge. You want to go to the description link below this video if you're watching on YouTube. Sign up. It's free. And I hope you had as much fun watching and learning as I did making this video and teaching you. But I'm telling you, the 5-day beautiful tennis challenge, you're going to love it. We're just getting started. You want to have picture perfect volleys, amazing topspin forehand and backhand, a beautiful professional style serve, then this is the challenge for you. We'll see you guys in the next video.